Hi Pisces, it's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology. Today we're talking about your horoscope for the Scorpio new moon, right? Which is happening November 19th at 10:47 in California. That's where I'm at, right? And on the West Coast here. So check for your time, right, in your neck of the woods. And for some people, it will be the next day. And so the Scorpio new moon, it's always kind of anything in Scorpio or Cancer for that matter is always related to you because these are water signs and you guys are the psychological signs, right? The intuitive, psychological, emotional, things like that. But this new moon is happening for you in your ninth house of faith and spirituality. So what are new moons about? They're about planting seeds for the future, the new moon, whatever we are starting with this new moon, planting or hopeful for, or just beginning to take a step, things like that towards something, they can come true with the Scorpio full moon, right? And that could be the next Scorpio full moon, which is in Taurus season. Um, and then, or it could be, in another, like in another time, right? Maybe even up to a year and a half. It just depends. But that's what the new moons are about, planting something new. It can be something ends, so that's why we're doing something new, of course, right? And this is your house, Pisces. Let's go ahead and get the pen out, right? Why not? Let's take advantage of this pen. And where are you? Right here. You are right here, Pisces. And so there you are. And your ninth house of faith, spirituality, and wisdom, expansion, your worldview or your kind of opinions about the world, right? And the ninth house is the house of sight. It is the house of philosophy. Yeah, it can be. So, this philosophy, this house, this philosophical house, it can also be about our visions that we want for the future because it is related to expansion and growth. And it can be the house of travel, and also education or learning, right? But the ninth house, maybe you are learning something about the occult here. You could be seeing patterns about yourself, Pisces, possibly here. We have the trine to your first house and the first house of self, right, which is very important. And the water trine here, what are water trines? Water trines are when something has a major flow to it, because these planets are in the same elements 90% of the time. In this one, we have the same element of water. So, the trines offer, they can like remove obstacles and just kind of make things flow and boom and happen like that. And so we have this trine here, if you are, watching the wheel, and then we have the kite, right? And what is the kite about? It's about flying. It's about overcoming, rising above, right? And the beautiful kite, it's a power. It is about power in some way, in some way, because it is about Scorpio as well. And it's kind of an expansion here with the kite. Yeah. And you are, this is all happening for you in your ninth house of expansion. So here we see this trine to your first house from the sun, moon, and Mercury, and this house of faith and spirituality, philosophy. And so, this could be you, though, definitely, Pisces. There's something good happening for you. There's this flow. It can be to move into your own beliefs. Maybe they're brand new, right? Maybe they're changing because it's in Scorpio, and that is about transformation, right? Now, when we have a trine to your first house, right? It is about your power because Scorpio, also the sign here where your ninth house falls, the ruler is Mars and Pluto. There's discussion on it because Mars is the personal planet, Pluto is the generational. So generational, affects generations, right? Years and years of people, and so it moves so slowly, Pluto. But this, Pluto is transformation, and we are in Scorpio season, and this is the new moon here is about transformation on some level. It's also about seeing beneath the veil, right? Scorpio is intuitive. They can be the psychic. They can. Um, And so Mercury is here. This is lifting the veil. You're understanding something about maybe your beliefs, your philosophical beliefs. You could be understanding something about yourself, and this is helping you to expand, right? And move forward. This is about moving forward, that house, the ninth house. And so, yeah, and so let's see what else we have. You could be really gaining a lot of wisdom. Your opinions might change. I feel like I mentioned that. And um, yeah, it's going to be about your psychological, your philosophical views. And this beautiful water trine, Pisces, is going to bring you blessings. Here is the great benefic Jupiter. This is your natal Jupiter, your ancient ruler Jupiter. Your modern day ruler here is Neptune. So, and they are similar, interesting, because Jupiter does rule expansion and our dreams, and what we're really aligned with, what we want to align ourselves with, that agrees with our philosophical views. And it's a visionary, and Sagittarius or Jupiter, right? We have to say Jupiter here, but and so is your Neptune. You could have new visions for yourself. Yeah, you could really be changing, could really be changing. Maybe you have new dreams, possibly, but right, with these new visions and things like that. And now we have, because your natal Neptune is part of the trine. Let's look at Neptune. Oh, we can't do that here. Let's turn this off. And here's Neptune, and it is right here. Jupiter is trining Neptune. This is about your dreams, your visions, your wisdom, your expansion, and your intuition. This is in your first house, and the trine is moving to your fifth house of, this is the house of self-expression, your identity, your sense of self, right? This is, ruled by the sun. Yours is ruled by the moon because we have Cancer. It's in the sign of Cancer, but it is the fifth house, and it is of self-expression, self-identity. It can be about your creative pursuits. It's also the house of love and fun, and it is showing up in Cancer. There could be a lot of nurturing, possibly within a family, but this can be also about you, kind of with Neptune over here, the Jupiter trying to Neptune. This could be like, well, you're really trusting your intuition now, and possibly, showing self-compassion to yourself. It's always really important. Sometimes people laugh at stuff like that, but hey, that's huge, right? Self-love, because it can determine if you're going to move forward or not, or if you kind of feel stuck, right? Yeah, and in your movement in life. And here we have Jupiter in this fifth house. So, this can be possibly you are learning here all about yourself, the trine, and this could be about your recreational activities, possibly, sports and things like that. Um, but there's wisdom learned here, and by you trusting your intuition, this is allowing expansion for you. Yeah, and it can be about your own self-compassion for yourself, because it is in compassionate Cancer, nurturing and compassionate Cancer. Yeah. And Saturn is here. Saturn is, also trining Jupiter. We see it right here as I have, clicked on it, showing it. And Saturn is helping to, solidify and possibly, helping to make you maybe more serious about something, maybe, or committed to something, or just your approach is more realistic, because it is sitting there with Neptune, and Neptune is your planet. Neptune is supporting your dreams and your visions, and also your compassion could be toward yourself. It's in your first house, as I'm saying here. But it is definitely, this is really for me, I call this, using your imagination, trusting your intuition, having a vision, and Saturn is helping make it more real and bring structure and form to that dream or that vision. Yeah, so it's very good here. It is. Yeah, in your ninth house with Scorpio here, ruling it really is just, we can say Mars or Pluto, like I said, but, this is definitely um, about like you being able to see something about yourself, trining your first house. You could be showing you some lessons here. It's a possibility here. And maybe they are trust your intuition. That could simply be that as well. Let me go ahead and refresh this. And so the kite, this is happening in your first house. It's also happening here. Let's move to the next trine. Um, well, we have, yeah, the next trine here is, we also have a trine with Pluto to Uranus. Um, and I'll go back and talk about that when I get to Uranus. But we have this trine here from your natal Neptune. Saturn is doing it as well, to Jupiter. Um, And so I feel like I was already talking about that, but let's look at the next trine. And the next trine is to Jupiter from the Sun, Moon, and Mercury. Mercury is showing you what you know, or what you newly know. It's in Scorpio, what you didn't know before, but it is the intelligence here. It can be about your plans and goals, but this is, decisions here. But this is more, I believe, you're really seeing something. Um, yeah, that have to do with your forward movement, your expansion, um, or your dreams and visions as well. Maybe you are learning. You could definitely be learning something about yourself, or maybe even studying something. You could. Um, yeah, you could be studying, or, ninth house here, learning something, maybe even teaching. But we have here, this here is showing up, and this is going to be to your fifth house. Yeah, we were talking about that fifth house as well earlier, right? This is your house of self-expression. So you're seeing everything that is, I believe, that is really helping you. Now, we have these sextiles too as part of the kite. But let's look at Uranus, because Uranus is part of these sextiles. And what are sextiles? They are opportunities, usually to, your whole chart is really about self-awareness, yeah, and your journey to become whole. Yeah. And, some people laugh at that or something, but that's what your chart wants for you. It's showing you the pitfalls. Everybody has them in their chart, right? And so it is about wisdom and learning and reaching this North Star, which is really the North Node. I just called it the North Star. And this is wisdom here. This is trusting your true path, getting on to the right path in your life, like really what makes you tick, what makes you happy. Could be your life path that you're choosing, the North Node. And it is here with, it is in Pisces in your first sign. So you could really be maybe learning a lot and leaving things behind right now, or learning from them that are in your sixth house. Let's look at that here. In your seventh house, sorry, in relationships or relating to others. You could be kind of, that's where the South Node is sitting, leaving things behind, with regard to your relationships or how you relate. You're learning a lot here because of Jupiter is supporting this house here of self-expression. Yeah, you're learning a lot here. And Uranus, let's look at that opposition here. Um, there is an opposition to embrace change or even free yourself. And what does that mean? Sometimes it means, Uranus is also about authenticity. And this is coming from your ninth house, and this is your third house of the mind. So this is the mind over here, Scorpio, with Mercury here, the sun and the moon. This is your intuitive mind. Things that, like all knowing, right? Like, you're really trusting your intuition and your knowing. It could be, I don't know why this is showing up here, like where it kind of moved over there. But yeah, let's move this down. Okay. But that's what you're doing. And yeah, and then, Mercury here and your sixth house is the rational mind, or the logical mind, we should say, right? But the logical mind can be very irrational because the ego can come in, right? And, and talk about what hasn't worked, and, remind us what hasn't worked in the past, or so and so said this about you growing up, or that's the ego, right? Where we're not choosing from a place of love, which is self-love. It starts with self-love. We're choosing from a place of fear, because the ego is always passing judgment. You're not good enough, or whatever it is saying to you, right? Yeah, and this is why we work on our shadow side, right? Everybody has one. It is the shadow side. And we have Black Moon Lilith in your ninth house of philosophy and faith and spirituality and expansion. Black Lilith is the shadow. It is showing up in Scorpio. A lot of people are going to be able to see their shadow and what's been holding them back, right? Sometimes it's vices, sometimes it's low self-esteem, sometimes it's something you did when, 10 years ago and you're maybe carrying some guilt, whatever is holding you back here, right? Black Moon Lilith. And it's usually something we don't like about ourselves and we don't usually want people to know about it, right? Very private here. So yeah. So yeah, let's see what else we have. But this Uranus is opposing from your ninth to your third house. These are the houses of learning and education, yeah, study, and what interests the mind as well. This is like for expansion, and over here it can be for learning and the logical mind here. Um, and this can be for plans and goals. This is for you, it's going to be in the third house. Yeah, this is the third and the ninth, the opposite. And so the opposite signs are important. They really are. And that's why, we wouldn't have oppositions without them. And what is an opposition? It is a challenge, right? Where we feel like someone or something is doing to us, somebody else. A square is just like, hey, we don't know what the problem is or what's caused the challenge, or sometimes it's just coming from us. But the opposition, it's usually about a blame to somebody or something, some event. So here we have this in your third house. Uranus is could be changing your goals, right? And can be an awakening for you. Right? And maybe you're going to go through one, or maybe you're going through an awakening because Uranus can be breakthroughs. It can be also unexpected change here. But we have Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon all, opposing Uranus. So Mercury is saying, which really is associated with this third house of the mind. Mercury is the brains. Mercury, and, is saying, hey, look, especially in Scorpio, you need to take a really good look at this and change needs to happen. So this is in your third house. This could be willpower. You could be really something challenging, an event maybe with these, especially with these sextiles, which are events or opportunities. We see them here with the little star, the little asterisk, right? Those are sextiles. And so, but something could be challenging you, your way of thinking even, because Uranus is in the third house of thinking and it's being challenged here. And this is kind of see beneath the veil down here. Yeah, it is. So, really interesting there. But there is change that is coming. And so we have, or that you're going through right now, right? Could chaos it could be chaos over here too. It can be about siblings, it's possible, the third house. It can be about the local, anything that is familiar to you. This could all be changing. Uranus is unexpected change. It is also like liberation and freedom and independence, but it is always about change and innovation. And this is, even if we don't see it that way, right? But this is an antenna, right? And this is, that's why it can be breakthroughs. You could have breakthroughs for plans and goals here. Um, yeah, or, it definitely can be, but there is some type of challenge there, and it has to do with you seeing seeing yourself in some way as to maybe your philosophy or um, your goals, your plans, your willpower. But there's a lot of strength in this reading for you in terms of willpower. There's tons because we have this trine, yeah, the sextile here, the sextile here. And these are, the sextile is to your Jupiter, this is your natal Jupiter. We have an opportunity for you here as part of this kite to rise up and kind of fly, right? And so, yeah, and so these are in the other water houses. I feel like I said that, right? So very good for you. Um, yeah, and so, let's see what else we have about you. I feel like you want to feel more free over here with your goals or your plans or the way you think. I feel like it's changing and you're feeling like, well, I kind of need to liberate myself or feel more independent or change. This could be, and so when we say independence or freedom, it can be just in the way you, it could be like right here. It's possible here that there's things about, it's in Taurus, maybe about your relationship with money or your self-esteem here, and Uranus is shaking that up and causing you to feel a little unstable here, but or maybe insecure even. But this challenge here is going to bring you to a place of wisdom. Jupiter over here in your fifth house of self-expression, right? This is possible. This is about a father. It's a possibility here, um, or a grandfather even. Jupiter can be um, the fifth house can be about the father or kind of it can be kind of like fathers or leadership, right? This is also your house of personal leadership, right? Yeah. And so it looks really good for you though, Pisces. It really does. And let's see what else we have. Yeah, whatever you're doing, you're trying to free yourself mentally here with this Mercury opposing Uranus. And Pisces does not like to be like trapped like not emotionally, but you guys don't like to be like um too much too logical or too in your mind. It's kind of like that because you're emotional and you're artistic and you're dreamy and also it's so compassionate, right? The energy that you guys represent, that you have, that emotions are way more important than these kind of these goals or this rational thinking, because Pisces is not that much about rational. It is about emotional thinking. Yeah, you guys are coming from a place of creativity, a place of kindness and compassion, even healing. So, yeah, and a visionary as well, right? And mystical too. There could be a lot you are understanding here about your own mysticism because this is in the ninth house. It's Scorpio, that is a mystic. Here, this is in Pisces in your first house. That's mystical and intuitive. Yeah. So there we go, right? This Uranus over here in your third house could be kind of, this could be like challenging your logical mind as well. Because you see that you need some type of change. You see that because of um, Mercury and this and the sun and the moon here in Mercury, which is seeing truths or all that is hidden, right? Or all that was hidden for sure. And I talked about Saturn here, and Saturn could be kind of challenging the way you think here because it is in sextile with Uranus. Maybe you're thinking, hey, I haven't really been thinking kind of, I don't know, maybe logically. I mean, I know you don't really like to do that. It's not that you guys are completely illogical. It's that you're coming from a place of love and creativity and things like that, and healing and, all this compassion, as I mentioned. But um, Saturn, you could also be learning some karmic lessons here that is offering up an opportunity for you to change your way of thinking. There could be some lessons that you have learned, maybe about your dad. Saturn can be about the father, and in your first house, sometimes Pisces represents the grandmother. So, could be, and so that's interesting here. Um, Yeah, so let's see what else we have. Your natal Neptune is retrograde, and so is Uranus. Yeah, if you have any, yeah, and as I was mentioning here, I didn't totally point this out, but this fifth house where you have this blessing here, this is, oh, I mentioned this is your house of self-expression, self-identity. And this could be, kind of, and your house of fun and romance. I feel like I mentioned that, but here, and then we have it, yeah, and then we have the trine over here um, from your from your ninth house to your fifth house. So, there's a lot going on with your own creative expression, your wisdom, how you want to move forward. I feel like there is that. And you are definitely trusting your intuition to help you kind of use this kite because these are in the psychological houses. The new moon's in the ninth house of spirituality and visions, and this is you are the mystic and the visionary as well, Pisces. Yeah, and that may be because of the this Uranus, not Uranus, Jupiter, right? Jupiter represents the ninth house in the natural chart, and then which is visions. It can be to expand, and then you have this, right? Then you have Neptune in your first house, and they're both about, they can be about your visions. They can. If you experience some loss, Pisces, when we see Neptune, it's retrograde. Yeah, I mentioned that. But in your first house, retrograde just means that it's a little weakened, but it's not a game changer where, hey, it's like, that's not true, or you know what I mean? But here we have Neptune in your first house. You could have experienced some loss and learned some major karmic lessons here, and that is helping you become your best self, because here we have the North Node in your first house. All right. And this is always North Node, the first house is always trust your intuition. I mean, if there's anything there at all that that is, it is your best self, but as it shows up in being in Pisces, this is, it can also be here, the North Node can be about showing compassion toward others, healing, and maybe that, sometimes this is our fate and destiny, where we want to go, want to be a healer, things like that. But you're learning here from some karmic lessons, not some from some karmic lessons or a karmic lesson. And you're being taught here or shown here to trust your intuition, and and there's some type of transcendence, right? And that is overcoming spiritually. When we see Neptune in its own sign, you're being invited to do that, to overcome your right? And the sextile to Uranus, there could be an awakening here or a breakthrough. Yeah, a breakthrough for sure for you to go ahead and do that. Yeah. And there is also an opportunity for you to, Uranus is sextiling Jupiter, for you to in your fifth house. This could be also, um kind of an opportunity for you to possibly, you could be looking at relationships maybe in a whole new way. That could be here. Um, and here we have in your seventh house, and this is what I'm talking about here. You have the North Node, South Node, and in Virgo, this is your opposite sign. That's where the axis always sits. Of course, with the opposite sign. And what does it mean? It means the South Node is here in your seventh house of relationships. You're learning a lot here, and you're leaving behind kind of characteristics, that kind of holding you back in relationships. You maybe are leaving out old relationships, period, relationships from the past. This could be wounds as well, that, wounds that you've incurred, family wounds, relationship wounds, or maybe all of them, right? I feel like everybody has that a little bit in their chart. Yeah. If you don't, more power to you. It's great then, right? But we all have to learn, and that's what the South Node is about. This is what we're leaving behind, but we must learn from it. That's what the past is for. The past is to show us, hey, this is doesn't have to define you. Move forward, right? And move toward this North Node, which is our best self, our true potential, fate and destiny, people that really belong in our life, as those people relate to our higher self, right? This is your higher self here. Yeah, and very cool. It is in your sign, so there could be a lot of evolution here for you in this reading. Yeah, and you're learning about something practical here. You're being grounded here. You're purging things over here that have to do with relationships. This is your seventh house of relationships. It can be your house of enemies as well. Maybe you're just like learning from these enemies. That's a possibility, and moving forward. And we see the opportunity to leave that behind, because here we have this Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon that are, whoops. Okay, so where is the sextile we were looking at? Let's have a look at that. Oh, let me close this. Sorry, you guys. And oh, okay. Let's Here's the sextile, and here it is with the little star. This is an opportunity for you. We don't always see them, though. That's kind of right? That's kind of the issue. And not always, but sometimes we are not always, able to expand or, take that opportunity or see it. It could be, the wrong time in our life, but this is an opportunity, right? But the right time always comes. Yeah, it's so but it is showing there's an opportunity here for some of us, right? For some of you, maybe it's not the right time, but I feel like it definitely is because this trine and this new moon is really good for you, Pisces. You're able to see beneath this veil about possibly things that have been holding you back in your journey, in your life's expansion, things like that, ninth house. And so you're purging things over here. And they could have to do with relationships that have been maybe holding you back, seventh house, south node. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it looks like, yeah, it looks good for you. It does. And if you are worried about something, um, it's a possibility here that, or if you experience loss, or I think I talked about that, but if you were worried or, maybe you were critical of yourself as well, uh, how you in your relationships or how you relate to others, you're dropping all that. So it's looking really good for you. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like, share, and subscribe. It's helping me to get to 1,000 subs and also 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, not minutes, hours. Yeah. And so, and it's helping me too. Sure. And also hit the little bell if you would like to be notified of my uploads. And also, I have intuitive consultations, psychic readings that are, I have them on promo, really marked down. So it's a good time if you want to get a reading with me. I always check my work for accuracy, and everything is in the description box. All right. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me here. Have a great one.